Everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beast Insects Only, episode number 9. So, we're at the ninth battle and the second battle of the quarterfinals. I'm Adam, and today, two more beasts fight out for one of those last spots, well, one of the 4 spots in the semi-finals. Looking at the matchup for today, this is probably the most boring matchup, I guess. That is my opinion, of course. I don't really know where I'm going to go with this fight, actually. So, yeah, it as expected, I do wing most of the fights. So, yeah. But I do have a rough idea how it'll go. Not really. I don't know what to do for this one. But let's introduce the beast so we can see what I'm dealing with here. And then we can hopefully see where the fight is going. But let's introduce him. Representing Series 5, the Shade of Death. The only insect beast in this tournament from that series, it is Lucas's girl, Amictus, the Bug Queen, versus her opponent. One of the 2 specials that competed in this tournament, and one of the 2 specials that made it through to round 2. This beast is not really known for her achievements in Battle of the Beasts, because not impressive achievements overall. This is not her first time in round 2 though, unlike Amictus. Although, can this beast actually make it that one round further, which she has been unable to do in the past? Well, only this battle will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, it's Skolo the Bladed Monster. So, Amictus and Skolo here. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tough fight to do. I do have a rough idea, because I did exploit a weakness in one of their fights, and the other one is a bit outranked compared to the other bug beasts. Not going to say which one's which, but if you've seen both of these fights, you know which one I exploited a weakness for, and you'll also know which one I'm now thinking is outmatched compared to the rest of the competition. I don't feel good saying this, but I don't know how else to sugarcoat it, really. But yeah, let's get to the stats about these beasts and see what we're dealing with, see if this can influence the fight in any way. Amictus the Bug Queen. Ancient scrolls found in Gwildor tell us that Amictus lays beautiful shimmering eggs on the jungle floor. A highly protective mother, she guards her young fiercely, but will only attack with her poisoned claws and spiky limbs as a last resort. Age 288, power 199, magic level 189, fright factor 92, size 291. Powers and abilities: natural weaponry, natural armor, multiple wings and flight, camouflage, and enhanced strength. Minions are Amictus' young, and weaknesses are enchantments. Moving on to Skolo. Skolo the Bladed Monster. If it had not been for Avantius ruler King Hugo being infected with the rare, deadly Scolodine poison, Tom would not have had to venture into the Darkmoor caves in search of an antidote. And it is possible that this giant steel-winged centipede beast would have remained unseen in her lair for many, many years. Age 392, power 285, magic level 183, fright factor 94, size 297. Powers and abilities. Hold on, bear with me, made a bit of an oopsie. Adhesive breath. Skolo can fire a purple adhesive from her mouth which binds her prey. Natural weaponry, 6 blade-like wings made of natural metallic substances, which she uses in combat. However, it is unknown if she can use them to fly. I'm saying she can't. She also has an inner pincer-like claw in her mouth that can extend to grab opponents. And the other ability is likely Scolodine immunity. Weaknesses is cannot fit into small spaces. That's pretty much all we need to know about Skolo. So with that, let's cut back to me for the fight. Okay, so now that we got to know more about the stats, time to get on to the fight of Amictus versus Skolo. The battlefield. I don't know. Let's go with. I don't know. I'm tempted to go with the forest arena. Yeah, okay, let's go with the Forest Arena again. 2 times in a row. Yay! So with that, Amictus versus Skolo. Let's get into this. So, as the chamber doors open, Amictus immediately bursts through the sky exit and immediately dives into the forest. Towards the middle, maybe to the left a bit, and just stays hidden in the trees. As Skolo makes her way out of her chamber, she scans the arena, seeing a lot of tight spaces and such. Nothing that can really help her much. She decides to stay where she is for now, though, just to see what there is she's dealing with. She senses someone's watching her, but she doesn't know who or where. Amictus, staring at Skolo through the trees, immediately darts from one tree to another, almost in the blink of an eye, without being seen. Skolo hears the rustling of the leaves and knows that the opponent is seeing her somewhere. Skolo, frustrated by this, grown impatient, charges into the arena, using her metal-tipped wings to slice at each tree, just knocking them all down. Amictus takes to the sky, flying up as Skolo knocks down every tree, looks up and sees Amictus. Amictus dives down to the edge of the arena and starts charging around in circles, going so fast it's like a green ring, just going round and 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 round in a circle. Skolo, keeping her eye directly on Amictus, trying to keep an eye on her. It's going a bit too slow to see Amictus just run by, just seeing this green blur go right past her vision. But Skolo, maintaining her focus, focuses on one point directly in front of her and shoots a small blob of adhesive from her mouth directly at the green blur in front of her. As soon as the green blur lands, it hits Amictus directly in her side, knocking her against the wall. As the adhesive begins to wrap itself around Amictus, pinning her against the wall. Amictus has a scythe free, as she also has the adhesive luckily wrapped around her wings. She struggles to break free, using a scythe to slash through it as she sees Skolo charging up towards her. Amictus, using one last slice, not caring where she hits, she slices at it, screeches in pain as she sliced a part of her body. And right as Skolo's on top of her, she uses her larger scythe-like appendages, turns them around, and shoves them right into Skolo's underbelly around her chest area. Skolo screeches in pain and goes to bite down on Amictus, which Amictus dodges as Skolo headbutts the wall, causing cracks to appear all over it. The spectators gasp in horror at what they just saw. Amictus retrieves her scythes and takes to the sky, pulling herself away from Skolo as Skolo reaches for her. Skolo shoots a bunch of purple adhesive towards Amictus, which Amictus dodges almost effortlessly, as Skolo feels that blood's dripping from her chest area, as Amictus is using one of her scythe-like appendages to block up the blood flow from her wound, which she inflicted on herself, just to break free. Skolo decides that she's going to cause a little bit of fun for Amictus, and using her tail, knocks a bunch of fallen trees to the side of the arena, causing a very uneven surface wherever Amictus goes. Skolo then waits for Amictus to come down to strike, acting like Skolo is not paying attention. Amictus then charges down towards Skolo, using one of her scythe-like appendages to slash at Skolo's head. It didn't work though, as the attack just bounces right off Skolo's armor. Skolo turns around very quickly for one of her wings to slice at Amictus's abdomen. Amictus screeches in pain, and right before she can do anything, Skolo reaches out for her, bites onto one of her scythe appendages, the smaller one, and pulls her down, pinning her to the ground. As Skolo releases her grip of Amictus, she does keep her tail firmly planted on one of Amictus's wings, piercing her wing. As Amictus tries to break away, she doesn't notice this, and as she pulls away, rolling away, she rips one of her wings out. As she tries to fly away weakly, Skolo scuttles up to her and bites down onto her other wings, pulling her down to the ground. As Amictus is pulling, she screeches as her wings get torn off again. She cannot catch a break with her wings, by the way, can she? As Amictus falls to the ground, she turns round to see Skolo chomping down on Amictus' wings. In anger, Amictus charges up towards Skolo and, dodging a attack from Skolo trying to lunge for her to bite down, she slides under Skolo and slashes along her underbelly, not going sideways this time, but going down. So Skolo screeches in pain and wraps herself around Amictus as Amictus digs her scythe deeper into Skolo's stomach area now. Skolo stares into Amictus' eyes as she warns Amictus to not do that again. As she increases her constriction on Amictus, Amictus starts to screech in pain, but refusing to show any more remorse. She tries to push herself free, but she can't seem to get anywhere because her limbs are now fully binded to her body, and she can't bend her abdomen up to actually reach Skolo. Skolo looms over Amictus. Amictus, feeling like she knows what's coming, is just waiting for the inevitable. As Skolo almost stares at Amictus in a way that's confusing Amictus, because Amictus is like, "Why aren't you killing me?" And Skolo decides that killing you would be too easy. So Skolo immediately shoots the adhesive over Amictus' mouth and then releases her grip of Amictus by chucking her down to the ground as the adhesive is spreading around Amictus' head. Amictus gets up and tries to claw away at it, but Skolo stops that by shooting more adhesive at Amictus' body, binding her to the ground, wrapping her scythe-like appendages around her body as Amictus is struggling, trying to break free from the bondage that she's in. She can't break out, she can't move, and the adhesive that's covering her head is taking away her breath. As she's trying to break free, even using her mandibles to bite at it, Skolo's simply shooting more adhesive at her head, causing a thicker and thicker layer of adhesive around Amictus' head. Skolo can feel her vision fading away as she's feeling very faint from the wounds that she's gained. Decides that she can't wait for Amictus to lose she can't wait for Amictus to lose her oxygen. She needs to finish off Amictus now, otherwise Skolo will bleed out and Amictus will win. Skolo charges up towards Amictus, bites down at her chest area, and keeping Amictus pinned down with the adhesive, pulls at it, ripping Amictus' chest out from her body. The shell that is on Amictus' chest ripped out, and some innards are pulled out, exposing Amictus' heart, in which Skolo immediately leans in for a bite of, grabs onto it and pulls it out as Amictus is struggling, suddenly stops as the body of Amictus just falls onto the knees and then forward, causing nothing. Skolo very weakly makes her way back to her chamber where she's immediately tended to, ready for the next round. So with that, Skolo's won, Amictus has lost. If you think Amictus should have won, please comment below. You think that, how are my words final and Skolo's moving on to the next round? Right. Oh dear. Right. As I said, any of these beasts could have won. However, I feel it would make more sense if Skolo won. Because Skolo actually has a metallic armor, whilst Amictus only has the armor from her shell, which isn't as strong as metal. Then we go on to the fact that when Amictus loses her wings, she's pretty much just a fast hitter. So, okay, that's fine. She was able to do some damage, dragging her scythe down Skolo's stomach, but that put her in a vulnerable spot where she was caught and then apprehended very easily. So, yeah,
I do see a way in which Amictus can win, but ultimately though, you need to go for Skolo's underbelly, which in this tournament so far, Skolo's done a good job at protecting. So it's not like I'm giving Skolo the victory here. I kind of feel obligated to give her the victory. Now, it was nice to have Amictus make it through to round 2. For the first time in Battle of East history, it took 5 seasons, but Amictus finally made it to round 2 where she died. So it's a shame, honestly. I wanted to see Amictus do well, but she outlasted her rival Vespic. But I don't see how Amictus could win against Skolo. Not as well on a percentage wise. I can see Amictus beating Skolo probably 20% of the time, while Skolo would win every other time, 80%. And that's because of her metallic armor, her adhesive, which can bind Amictus down. And whilst Amictus has that agility, when that stopped, because Amictus only has close range attacks, if Skolo can exploit that, she would win. And that's how the battle went. So yeah, Lucas originally rooting for Vespic, now rooting for Amictus, now needs to root for someone else. Yeah. I'm sorry, Lucas. This it's not even I'm not even joking at this point. I'm not even doing this just to mess with you. These beasts, Vespic and Amictus, both got very poor matchups. And you can't blame me, I can't blame you. It was a randomizer that you done for me very graciously. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Or in this case, that's just the way the bug dies. So, yeah, with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below. Join me in the next battle where we'll find out who the third beast to make it to the semi-finals is. Until then, peace out.